Alright, Suckah Shyt, okay? This is what I call the +1 folks, okay? So years ago, we used to do community barbecue in Carson. So we did it was free for families. Remember you came out, we would feed like 100, 150 people, generations. We had jumpers, So we barbecued for like 2 days. Everything's free. DJ out there, face painting, the mayor came out, it was all good. We out there, dude come up to me and was like, man, you could have had this, you could have had some more ribs, you could have had this. And I was like, man, you see the jumper over there, you see the mayor over there handing out food, the DJs could. I said, what you don't see is a suggestion box next to me. All right? This is what I call the +1 niggas. And no matter what you doing, they got a great suggestion after it's done. You know what you should have did? Look, +1. Just like you standing outside. No, ain't nobody else can get in the club but you. Your name is right here. You don't have a +1. Okay? Suckah Shyt is the +1 nigga.
Yeah.
All right, here we are again. Back in the house, back in the lounge, Skinny Black's Lounge. Welcome. I am Rob, KKA, Kappa known as Skinny Black. To my left,
Rennie. Yes.
There it is. All right. And across the table,
JT, the period is silent. Hi, Mom.
there you have it. And behind the boards, we have Dio. Who is Dio? I'll check him out on Instagram. All right, so we got a list of topics today that we want to unpack with the fellas. Leland is here also.
Lebo, I bring my own security.
My man. All right, and with that, actually we gonna let Ren start this off. Let's break out. Let's talk about ghosting, brother.
It's the ghosting concept. So let's understand. It's my understanding of it is because I've never heard a man say they were ghosted. So I'm going to say this construct belongs to women, and it's their term because for men it's called she wasn't feeling you.
Just not into you.
Yeah, 100%. And so there's this whole concept of closure, as if there's a need for an explanation beyond the silence, and this obligation that they feel that men should have to give them that form of closure. And I'm trying to understand where did this originate? And conversely, why? And even the most moist of men that we know have never used the term ghost or ghosted, So I'm trying to understand that sense. What part of I haven't returned any of your texts or calls or emails isn't closure enough? Like, that means I'm really not fucking with you. And whether it was I'm really not feeling you, or you did something egregious, or you just did a succession of microaggressions, and then something tiny was the straw that broke the camel's back, and you decided, no mas. Does it really matter in that space? And if you haven't had like an established relationship and rapport over a period of time, why do you owe any explanation? And even if you did, again, the silence is saying what? I don't want to do it anymore. So now why is it now this gigantic kind of dilemma now that, we hear constant in the dating sphere? I'm curious. I just need to flesh it out.
Jay.
Well, you gonna put that on me?
Yeah, I don't date.
Well, yeah. You do. You just date your wife.
Touche.
That's what I'm saying.
And I understand, we're in entitlement in general.
Okay, there we go.
That is not that is not something that is mutually exclusive to women. There is a air of entitlement with people
across the board
in
now.
general,
Yeah.
specifically in the social media era of living.
Okay, so there's a generational thing, because this term is not of our generation.
Not at all.
And
But there have been, my problem is that
it's crept.
Yes.
Well,
we're adopting it.
Part of this because some of y'all old
Grown
niggas
women
trying to
telling
be
me it
cool.
was lit, and I was like,
Some of y'all old niggas
I'm
trying to
sorry?
be too cool. Y'all need to stick with y'all 80s and 90s slang and let that ride out. And, sound corny like our uncles used to.
Yes.
But you have to find definitions to comfort your emotions sometimes. I guess we'll say ghosting, even though I feel funny even saying it.
yes.
That's existed forever. Somewhere in between the first round and third round of drinks, you got off of that dude you really wasn't interested in. You ghosted him. That you got him to buy all your friends. Sometime in between that first or second steak and lobster dinner,
Did a Swayze.
you got out of him. You ghosted him. I know guys that have paid for trips. I know guys that have paid for trips for women to go see another dude and they didn't know they was paying for it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's all technically ghosting. But generally as men, our feelings don't come into play. So that's why you haven't heard guys use this term, ghosting. It happens on both sides, but it just appears to me that when it happens to our lady counterparts, then we need a definition. And by that definition, the guy has to become the bad guy. Now, if you can say to me that in order to get to know me, he should buy me this drink to get to know me, then what you're saying is that your personality, your intellect, something about you is just worth having a conversation. And I'm going to submit a theory that probably may upset some people.
Oh.
But I think that there's an inverse equation in general, that the cuter, prettier, or more attractive a woman is, probably the less interesting she's going to be. I want you to go to college, and I want you to go into a seminar for PhDs. And I want you to see how many 8 and ups are in the room. Then I want
These
you
are
to go.
general terms.
Listen, then I want you to go.
We don't want to hear about your exceptions.
Yeah,
These are
then I
general
want
terms.
you to go. Then I want you to go to All-Star Weekend. And when the money is out there, I want you to see how many 8 and ups are out there. And then strike up some conversations with those folks. I'm just saying.
So you sound like you're saying there's an inverse relationship to the probability of getting Swayze and pretty privilege.
Now we're talking on the surface level. You're going to be attracted to what you're attracted to, right?
No doubt.
For the majority of men, that's beauty.
Right.
That's sex appeal.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I would say that's all people, but
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm just speaking on guys.
Yes.
I'm speaking on guys.
Yeah.
Okay?
100%.
I've been one my whole life.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But I can wholeheartedly say, and I've said this numerous times, no woman walks into a room and says, I sent someone with a great personality, and then some kind of radar draws them to that. You know what I mean? They have the same visceral attraction as we do. But go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
So what you're saying is they won't cop to it.
1,001%.
Okay. I can roll with that. So you get that attraction. I said this on a previous broadcast that we did, is that I've heard women complain about, all he wanted was this. Well, have you ever asked yourself, is that all you have to offer? Right? So somewhere in there, you could have shown your personality, your intellect, your wit, right? Okay. I had a conversation. A woman was telling me how funny she was, and I was like, well, if you're telling me how funny you are,
You're probably
not funny.
Right.
Give me a top 5 comedians of all time, and just ask women and see if one woman comes in any woman's top 5. I was watching, and I was saying that I was watching that Wonder Woman movie with my daughter, a hot garbage movie. But after it was over, even her little 13-year-old woman instincts said, "Oh, that was okay." So I said, "Well, if that was a guy hero," she said, "No, that movie would have been terrible." I said, she even came in defense, and I said, "That's cool." I got it. But she copped to it, But she at first. So, what's your top 5? They don't have a top 5. A woman in the top 5. Nobody gonna drop Monique. No love for Wanda Sykes or nobody. No, because you don't. As guys, we have to develop certain parts of our personality to differentiate ourselves to become more attractive to women. So if all things being equal, I can keep you laughing. Right. If all things being equal, you'll be attracted to my intellect or my success or my this or my that. If you're a successful dude, you don't care about your what.
Let's wrap this up with a button.
With a bow.
With a bow. There we go. So look at it like this. So then, in the event, in this realm of the ghosting, a man gives you some information and says, well, I found that, and gives you some details into why he decided that he couldn't deal in that space anymore with you. He didn't want to build in that space anymore with you. What exactly do you do with this information? Where do you take it? So now you have this closure. What do you do with this grandiose bit of closure? Do you take it, move on constructively? Or do you do what I think what a lot of people do is they're using closure as an excuse to find a reason to let themselves off the hook. So they don't have to take responsibility for what they contributed to that space.
Right.
Or maybe it just wasn't gonna work and it really doesn't matter.
Well, let's do the Captain Obvious disclaimer that in a perfect world, people would have the courtesy, be able to communicate,
definitely,
and do all of those things.
Definitely.
But Captain Obvious, we're not in a perfect world. Number 2, how easy are you to talk to? Are you the type of person that wants to turn a 5-minute conversation into a TV miniseries, sponsored by Clorox? Am I gonna have to talk to you 5 times about this and go through this entire range of emotion after we've gone on 2 dates?
And then you want to refute or be contrarian with the things that I'm telling you about how I feel in this interaction. So if I'm telling you these are my emotions, this is how I feel in this space,
right,
it's nothing to refute. You can either say, well, I don't believe you arrived at that space in a proper succession of things based on my intent, but you're entitled to it. You can say things like that. You'll never hear that. But that could possibly happen. But what do you do with this information? And for full disclosure, many of women, because before people say this is the dude that just stops randomly talking to women when I'm in the single sphere, many of women have said, fuck Ren. Let's be clear. Hear me? 1 call, 2 call, no response. Okay. Fuck Ren.
But
Got it.
I think a theme or something that overarches that is, as men, are our emotions, our feelings considered on an even playing field or as valid as women's?
Not at all.
So why would it matter? Why would it matter what came your way? It only matters if, you know, she feels that way. If you look at the grand scheme of things, I don't know the number, but I'm willing to put my bet on 90% plus of the approaches are made by men. You say higher?
I say higher.
I'm trying to be.
I'm taking the over.
Okay.
Even in the cyber dating sphere,
Men are making the approaches.
100%. Even on Bumble, where the woman has to initiate the conversation, it's a one word, hey, and then the man is obligated to create chemistry from thin air. You know, it's all, and, you know, women will say things like, you know, miss me with the small talk. Well, then how do you get to the larger media sources if you can't get the details? Small talk is, what kind of music do you like? What's your favorite color? These are things, the building blocks for getting an understanding to what your personality is and what drives you. So why can't we do the little things? Why did it have to be some grandiose gesture?
Well, no, first of all, you got to have a small talk. You got to get there. You want to microwave a relationship, but that's part of the issue right there.
Ooh.
Okay, because what that really says is, I want to charge you. Okay,
Put the obligation on you.
I want to charge you extra for this ticket that I gave away for free to a couple dudes before you. I want to put a surcharge on this.
Well, and the surcharge is based on the outcomes of that previous one.
But here's the crazy part. Okay, I know that if I probably caught Bruno Mars 15 years ago playing in some lounge somewhere, I could have caught him for free, right? But since then, vocal training, production,
Dancing.
platinum albums,
Sold out tours.
sold out tours. I know I'm paying a surcharge for what I'm paying for. But what if you haven't done any work? So you trying to charge me Rose Bowl stadium prices for the same thing that could have been at Joe's Tiki Lounge last week.
North Hollywood.
And it's only because, well, I've been through this. Yes, you have. Okay?
And nobody owes you for it.
One common denominator in all your relationships is you. That's why you went through it. Okay? I wasn't there.
And there's some lessons to learn. What lessons did you learn
But the lessons
from it?
didn't get learned. Okay? So what I would say, whether men or women in this, ghosting, whatever term you want to do it. Okay, well, how many times have you ghosted yourself?
Ooh.
How many times have you ghosted the responsibility to grow?
Ooh.
How many times have you ghosted the responsibility for self-analysis or accountability?
Here we go.
Okay, so listen, before you start pointing the finger at somebody, just nickname yourself Casper and just let's be 100 with what you are. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like four black dudes, like
Really?
two white dudes, and like 3 or 4 Filipino cats.
Yeah, no,
So it's way more black dudes than you thought.
They show was fire.
Them motherfuckers is dope.
No, the Jabberwockers was fire.
Oh, they dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
So
dope. Them motherfuckers is dope. That's
actually, by calling dudes Jabberwocky niggas, that's elevating them because they ain't that good.